Have you ever wondered how one of the wildest dreams in Pi network history, the so-called $314,159 per Pi valuation, went from being a viral community vision to a controversial myth? What if I told you that this idea, despite being mathematically impossible, shaped the entire direction of the Pi network for years, and even influenced how the core team handled communication and strategy? Yes, we're diving into the infamous GCV, Global Consensus Value, and how it became one of the most hotly debated topics in Pi network history. In today's video, we're pulling back the curtain on who really started it, why it spread like wildfire, and how the core team's silence may have quietly fueled the fire. But most importantly, we're going to talk about where the Pi community should go from here and what it really takes to build value that lasts. Now let me ask you this. Do you think Pi could still reach a life-changing price point like $100, $300 or more in the future if we focus on real utility and transparency? Drop your answers in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to check out my previous videos on the Pi Network mainnet launch, KYC problems, and the latest updates. Link is in the description below. Also, I want every single one of you to go into the comments right now and type Pi Network to the moon, along with your country name, so we know where our amazing Pi family is watching from. Smash that like button, share this video with your fellow pioneers, and of course subscribe so you don't miss any hot updates on Pi Network, price predictions, KYC, and mainnet migration problems. And hey, join our Telegram and Facebook community too. We're growing every day and would love to have you part of the conversation. Just a reminder, this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It's not investment advice in any way, shape, or form. Alright, pioneers, buckle up, because what you're about to hear might just change how you see the entire Pi journey. Let's get started. Once upon a time in the rapidly growing Pi network ecosystem, there was a dream. A big, bold, jaw-dropping dream that a single Pi coin could be worth over $314,000. Not $3.14, not $314, but a mind-blowing $314,159. This dream didn't come from Wall Street analysts or blockchain economists. It came from within the Pi community itself, from a group of pioneers who believed Pi had the potential to rewrite financial history. These early visionaries weren't trying to scam or deceive. In fact, they were incredibly passionate. They organized global barter events, trained local leaders, hosted conferences, and pushed this vision with all their might. They believed that Pi could bypass traditional market dynamics and that its value could be set by community consensus alone. And so the term GCV, Global Consensus Value, was born. But here's where things start to unravel. Despite the impressive grassroots movement and the hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of pioneers who rallied behind the idea, something crucial was missing: reality. You see, the Pi core team, the ones with real control over Pi's ecosystem, never officially confirmed GCV as a legitimate or achievable goal, but they also didn't outright deny it either. This created a vacuum. Into that vacuum rushed rumors, speculation, hopes, and yes, confusion. The core team's carefully chosen words like, "Pi is worth what pioneers make it worth," allowed GCV to flourish unchecked. Was this intentional? Strategic? Maybe. After all, the buzz around GCV brought in waves of new users, and that kind of organic viral growth is something every project dreams of. But here we are today, in the era of the open mainnet. Pi is trading on exchanges, and the reality has hit like a cold splash of water. The current price? Around 65 cents. That's right. Not $314,159. Not even close. It's a hard pill to swallow for those who held on to the dream for years. But this is where the lesson begins, not ends. Markets don't care about dreams. They care about demand, utility, transparency, and liquidity. You can have the most dedicated community in the world, but if no one is buying your coin for real money at a high price, the value simply isn't there. That's not negativity, that's economics. Some GCV believers point to GitHub code published by a user named Kosasi, claiming it proves GCV was part of the plan. But a closer look reveals this code was mostly copied and tweaked from other sources with no ties to the core team. It's wishful thinking dressed up as technical evidence. Now let's talk control. A big argument from the GCV camp was that the community, the pioneers, could decide the value of Pi. But here's the kicker. The vast majority of Pi isn't even in circulation. The core team still holds most of it. They control when, how, and how much Pi enters the market. So if you're thinking price can be dictated by a few million users bartering bananas and t-shirts, you're overlooking who really holds the power. Speaking of bananas, let's get into the barter story. Many GCV believers point to the barter economy that popped up in 2021 and 2022 as proof that GCV was real. Yes, people exchanged Pi for goods and services. But let's look at the truth. Most of these trades were for small, symbolic items. A bag of rice, a pen, a pair of socks. Not cars, not land, not real estate. In fact, one comical example shows someone paying 0.0000135 Pi for an item, while the transaction fee was 0.01 Pi. If GCV were real, that means the fee cost more than $3,000 to buy something worth only $3. That's not a transaction, that's a financial joke. Let's do some math. If Pi were truly worth $314,159 and there were 230 million coins in circulation, that would make Pi's total market cap over $72 trillion. So where does that leave us? To GCV believers, your passion built this community, and that matters. But now it's time to shift from wishful thinking to real action. If Pi is going to thrive beyond Telegram chats, we need real utility, transparency, and adoption. To the core team, your silence on GCV has created more confusion than clarity. If trust is the goal, honest communication has to come first. And to every pioneer, it's time to refocus. Let's demand transparency about tokenomics, about how many coins exist, how many are locked or unlocked, and who holds what. Let's push for faster KYC approval and full mainnet migration for those still stuck in limbo. Let's protect unverified balances and ensure validators are rewarded fairly. And most of all, let's focus on building an ecosystem where Pi is actually used, not just dreamed about. Where people buy things they need, where businesses accept Pi as payment, where developers build dApps and tools that create demand. That's how we reach $1, then $10, maybe one day $100. And yes, if we play our cards right over the years, even more. But that journey starts with truth, not fiction. With use cases, not hashtags. With effort, not hype. Pi has the potential to become something extraordinary. But we must build that future on solid ground, not shaky myths. So there you have it, the story of GCV. From a dream born in the hearts of passionate pioneers, to a movement that swept the world, to the reality check that markets eventually delivered. It's a story of belief, of silence, of misunderstanding, and now, of rebirth. Because Pi's real value lies not in made-up numbers, but in what we build together, starting today. If you got value from this breakdown, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more in-depth Pi Network news, price predictions, KYC solutions, and everything mainnet related. This channel is your #1 spot for staying ahead in the Pi world. Now let me ask you, what do you think is a realistic price for Pi in the next year? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you've got questions, corrections, or even your own GCV story, I'd love to hear it. The comment section is wide open. Thanks for watching, pioneers. I appreciate every one of you. Stay focused, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next video.